Your Highness, may I come in? I understand you don't want to see anyone right now, but I assure you, I can help. I'm going to open the door. Stay calm. Why are you hiding under your beddings, Your Majesty? I understand you feel that way, but I assure you, you are not a monster. I believe that you've had quite a few symptoms lately. Would you mind talking to me about them? It's okay if you don't want to speak. Your parents have thoroughly filled me in. From what I hear, you've sprouted horns, your skin is turning red, and you've been having outbursts. Is that correct? I know it is, sweetie. You don't have to tell me. I'm sure it's gotten you very scared. I know that's why you're hiding from me right now. But I promise, we can fix this. I know what's happening to you in a sense. It's my fault. If you come out from under your comforter, I'll be glad to tell you why. Ah, there you are. I see your eyes remain unaffected. Yes, I am a demon, little royal. That's why I know what's happening to you. You see, we have a history. One of your parents tried to hide from the entire kingdom. Once you understand it, you will see why this is happening. Do you remember the day when you were born? Most humans don't, but if you focus, you may be able to recall that I was there. Did your parents ever tell you how close you became to death? As you left your mother's womb, you were barely clinging to life. You didn't breathe. Your heart barely throbbed, and your soul was slipping away from you. Your father had many deals with me before. Most kings of his stature do. He knew that if he wanted to save his firstborn, he should skip the mages and medics and call me. By the time he summoned me, you had breathed your last. You were dead, and your father requested that I revive you. Your soul had done its best to leave you. Only a vague shadow of it remained. I told him that there wasn't anything left to save, and he pushed harder. Your parents wouldn't let you go, so I told them a solution, a way to get your heart beating again. We demons don't have souls. We don't need them. Our core is a form of magical energy. It's self-sustaining, and I offer to give some of mine to you, just enough to kickstart your heart and save your body. They were apprehensive. They feared that my process would turn you into a demon. Technically speaking, they were right, but there was no other option. So, I stuck a little shred of energy into you. It got you going again. You took a deep breath and started wailing as all babies do. Your father paid me and thanked me. And I warned that the magic I put in you would only get stronger, that one day your demonic qualities would manifest. Evidently, that is today. I'm sorry if you feel as though this is my fault. In a literal sense, it is. But I promise if you stay calm and work with me, we can get you in control of your new demonic powers. Then, if you're still incompetent, we should be able to practice masking them entirely. You can go back to having your normal royal life. Does that sound alright? Great. I'm sure control will come natural to you. Just stand up, take a deep breath, and we can begin. The magic that's manifesting is an extension of you. You produce it unconsciously, like everything else your body does. It pulls in your torso, and as you've seen, you can conduct it through any part of your body. I understand you almost took the head off a maid. Could you feel the burn come through your veins just before the lightning shot from your fingers? I imagined it hurt. That was because the magic you displayed was unfocused. With practice, restoration, thousands of other schools of magic can be performed, not just the evocation you witnessed. What's more important now is to stay calm, or more accurately, stay neutral. Every form of magic is tied to an emotion. Well, Actually, emotions themselves are magic. That's why true love is so often a cure to spells and hexes. Your fear and self-loathing were a getaway to destruction. That does not mean you should shun them. It means you must keep them in check. As you must now do for anger, sadness, lust, admiration, or amazement. Basically, any strong feeling you could think of could cause a magical outburst, and as you saw with fear, that outburst can be easily fanned of its own flames. Before you know it, you could cause some real chaos. So, we'll begin with a few breathing exercises. I want you to remember these patterns and do them whenever you feel overwhelmed. Ready? Breathe after me. That pattern with those specific timings have been passed down through demon families for generations. If you are ever out of control, that exercise will shut you down, as it has for countless demons before you, who, I promise, were much more volatile than you. I want you to understand that you now have a fail-safe, something that you can bring to you to a halt, no matter what. You do not need to fear your power. You're in control. I can sense that you do not believe that. Don't worry, we'll work on that. In fact, I'm sure that after I teach you a couple tricks, you'll feel much more on top of things. You heard me. What's the point of having magic if you can't do a few parlor tricks? Let's begin with the most practical spell in the book. Easy enough for a beginner and useful enough for a master. This chair will do nicely for our practice. I want you to sit down on it. Now stand up. Sit. Stand. While I was ordering you around, did you ever once feel doubt? Did you ever suspect the chair wouldn't hold you? Good. Pick the chair up. Yes, really. Just pick it up off the ground. Not very far. Just make sure the legs don't touch the floor. Put it down. Pick it up. Now drop it. Good. What were you thinking about? To lift a chair? Trick question, darling. You didn't. The ability to lift objects is so ingrained in you that you didn't have to think about it. You didn't think about which muscles were contracting. You didn't think about the word lift. You simply did it. I want you to think about lifting the chair. Think it. Do it. But do not touch the chair. I know it seems counterintuitive. Most magic does at first. But once you get the hang of it, it'll be second nature. Now, pick up the chair. Stop. I can see it on your face. You're not doing it right. You're thinking about how you would lift the chair if you were touching it. You need to cut out the middleman that is touch. It may help you to mime the motions of picking up the chair while not actively touching it. Just take a step back and pick up the chair. You're struggling more than you need to. I didn't want to introduce this, but I can give you some proverbial training wheels. Imagine a hand. It's pale, ghostly, but it is your hand. You can grip with it. You can push and touch. You can feel what the hand does. That's because it is yours. You had 2 hands, and now you have 3. This third hand does not have an arm, and it's not attached to you, but it is yours. Move the third hand, focus, and you'll find you can displace it through real space. Move your new hand under the chair and push up. Very good. Now set the chair down gently. Close, but I suppose dropping the chair is much better than nothing. You'll find gentle balance is quite hard when you limit yourself to 1 hand's worth of surface area. In time, we will train that behavior out of you. We'll teach you to lift with 1,000 hands on every side, but until then, you've got quite a new skill, haven't you? You'll find you can lift anything light at least. It can be close or far. It can be in your sight line or out. That's because the hand isn't actually there. The object moves because you are pushing it, just as it would move if you pushed it with your physical extremities. How about another trick? Open your hand, face up. What color is your palm? Close your hand. What color are your fingers? Notice that your palm is lighter than your fingers. Open your hand. As your hand opened, the color you were viewing got brighter, from a darker red to a lighter pink. I want you to imagine the color granite, from the pink of your palm all the way to the white. Got it? Close your hand. Don't open your hand until I tell you. Now, without looking, what color is the inside of your hand? Pink? Wrong. That's the color it was, but before we're done, your hand will be glowing white. This spell, like all others, requires a level of belief. I want you to remember that you have magic. You are magic. When you open your hand, it will not be pink. It was, and now it's not. It's white. The brightest, most blinding white you can imagine. Do you believe me when I say that? I need you to trust me. When you open your hand, I am telling you that it will be white. It will illuminate the room you are in because it is so bright. You need to believe this because it is true. Do you trust me? Then open your hand. Good job. The light you're making is even brighter than the lamps. You've mastered the first part of your light spell. Now, let's turn it off. Remember that the light is in the palm of your hand. The outside of your hand is still red, so if you close your hand, the light will contain in your fist. You can close your hand whenever you're ready. Good. The light is gone. Now comes the hardest part. When you next open your hand, you must believe that the light will not be there. You control it, and you have decided to turn it off. Your palm is pink. That is the only color it's ever been. Everything else has been an illusion. Now when you're ready, open your hand. Very good. Most of my students take a few tries before they succeed. I told you that magic would come naturally. One more trick, then we'll get you out and presentable to your parents. It will be similar to the light spell, in that it too will be a combination of illusion and conjuration. The spell will be complex, but I trust you can handle it. First, allow me to get something to aid us. Ah, a portrait of a lovely royal. Would you say this portrait is accurate? Yes, it is a fine portrait. It truly captures your essence, which is exactly what we wanted. Look at it, then look at the mirror. You look very different. But some things have remained. Despite its color, your hair is the same texture and length. Your body had gone largely unchanged, and your eyes are still just as human as always. The biggest disappearance are your new skin tone and your horns. Which can we fix? This painting is you, correct? Is that the honest truth? Good. This form, the red you, I need you to understand that is, too, is you. In many ways, it is more you than this painting is. I need you to accept that. Prove it to yourself. Touch your horns, feel your skin, confirm that you are who you see. That acknowledging your demonic features can be disheartening, but if you learn to accept them, you may be comfortable enough to simply live with them. And if you still don't feel good, then accepting your true form will allow you to produce a false one. So, explore yourself. check to see what things do not exist, even if you may have assumed they would. For example, you have no tail, your teeth are not sharp, you are not a demon you may be imagining. You are yourself. Good. Now look at the painting. The person in this painting is not you. Not anymore. However, if you wish, you could look like them. Do you wish to look as they do? Alright, close your eyes and imagine yourself. Try to see yourself as an outside viewer would. Do not embellish any details. Imagine everything exactly as it currently is. Good. Now open your eyes. Look at this painting. It is of a noble. You don't know them, and you've never seen them before. They are not you. You know what you look like, and it is not them. Acknowledge that. What is different between the two of you? It means it. Try to overlap the two of you in your mind and see exactly where the disappearances lie. Do you have all of them? Good. Close your eyes, reject all outside stimuli. Imagine them and imagine yourself side by side. Now, I want you to think long and hard about which one of these two figures is you. Is it the one with a more demonic appearance? Yes, sweetie, I should have been more clear. I know that my statement is true, but this is illusion magic. And a big part of illusion is lying. Lying to everyone, including yourself. I know I spent all this time establishing that the red is the real you. But if you wish to change forms, then you must reject what I've said. Deny what you know. That red form is not real. It never was. You were stressed and you tricked yourself. You aren't monstrous. You never have been. Erase the red from your mind and it will cling to the one you saw in the painting. It is real. It is true. Do you believe me when I say that? Do you believe it when you tell yourself? Remember the light in your hand? It happened because you believed, and stopped when you no longer had faith in it. This is the same. You are human, you are normal, and you must trust that when you open your eyes, the person in the mirror will be the old you, and no one else. You have to trust yourself to pull this off. Open your eyes, little royal. Looks like you're back to your normal self. I will give you a warning. If you ever stop believing that this is how you look, then that will be true. A similar problem will occur when you sleep. Right now, your conscious mind has updated your personal perception of yourself. You stay this way because your conscious mind has commanded it so. Even if you are not actively trying to change your appearance, a small portion of your focus is being constantly consumed to render this illusion. Sadly, to perform this task, that little bit of focus must remain. When your conscious mind slumbers, your spell will revert, and when you awake in the morning, you will be red. But that shouldn't be a problem. You can simply use this painting and change your appearance every morning. Hopefully, one day you'll be confident enough to not hide from the real you. Now, I'd like to remind you of all the ground we've covered. You look like yourself, you have a few new tricks to show any friends, and if anything ever gets out of hand, you have a breathing exercise to calm down. You are in no danger from yourself or anyone else. With all that in mind, I would like you to restate our new favorite motto, I am in control. Very good. As long as you hold that to be true, it will be so. But unlike your appearance, it is not an illusion. This magic is yours, and you control it as long as you are sure that you can. And if you are ever losing control, you know what to do. Well then, I say that's a job well done for me. Let's get the new calm you to your parents. I'm sure they'll be delighted to see how far you've come in just a few minutes. After you, little royal.